All right, everybody, welcome and thank you for joining us for today's preseason press conference with head coach Dowell Loggins as part of our App State Media Day. Coach Loggins will give us an opening statement and then we'll take questions from media members.
Appreciate everyone being here. It's always like the best day of the year for the coach because you get new teams here. We just had our first team meeting and really excited about the guys we have coming back that we got to practice with and also the new additions that we get to get on the field with the first time tomorrow. So with that, I'm going to open it up for you guys. Fire away with questions.
Marvin Parker, WLOS. You said first day of Christmas, first team meeting. How was the energy in the room? I know you were looking forward to it and you're excited about it, but in particular, how was that space?
Yeah, it was awesome. It's the boring meeting because you're going through all the policies, procedures, the trainer talks, everyone talks. Coach Spear got up and taught the new guys the fight song, so that was exciting. But great energy, and everyone's excited to be back. They work all summer and they're here all summer, so they got a little 4 or 5 day break. But they hadn't been gone very long, but it's the first time we've been back with them. So really excited about getting to work.
You got here, you brought your staff, you worked the transfer portal. Is this normalcy for you now? Does it feel like, I guess, a different version of chaos when the regular season comes, but how have you settled into your coaching staff, your roster, and now games?
Yeah, well, we're not really settled with the players yet because there's so many of them that we haven't got to be on the field with. Like, we've got to see them condition. We've done some, summer things. You can do limited activity with them. With the coaching staff, really excited about what we've been able to put together, a ton of experience. Guys have been head coaches, 93 years of NFL experience on the staff, which it's unbelievable to have that, and we're fortunate to have the people we do. But we're really excited to get to work with some of these new guys, and a lot of guys have changed their bodies in 8 weeks. We've increased our nutrition program and how we do things that way. So a lot of the bodies look different than they did when spring ball was over. So we're excited about that as well.
What can you tell us about the QB competition that will be happening?
Yeah, I can tell you that there's 5 quarterbacks on campus that are going to get opportunities, and we're excited about the talent in the room. And the same message I've given to the quarterbacks is eventually one of you guys has to separate from the group. And we're going to give you guys plenty of opportunity to do that. But it's on you guys at some point to the way we practice, we are 2-spot operations, so they get equal reps. So there's no – sometimes when you don't practice that way, it's like, hey, how do we map out these reps? Who gets this? Who gets that? They're all going to get opportunities with the ones. And I'm excited to see. I don't have in my head, there's no timetable for how long that takes. It's really up to them. And it could be 2 days. It could be 10 days. It could be Friday night before the opener, or technically Thursday night before the opener.
What are some things between now and the opener over the next month, through practice, through weight room, through anything else that you need to see from your team to feel as good as you can be going into week 1?
Yeah, you want to see a team that's in great shape. You want to see a team that takes care of the football, that plays clean football, that tackles well on defense. You got to make sure that you do enough with scrimmage opportunities that you get to see some live tackling. And the worst feeling in the NFL, you got 3 preseason games to kind of figure out what your team is. So we have 2 scrimmages. We call it preseason 2 and preseason 3 because we consider the spring game preseason 1. So we do the same thing, take an NFL model that way. So we want to see a team that takes care of the football, that tackles well, that plays clean football, that does the little things right, that is the difference between winning and losing.
David Rogers, High Country Sports. In reviewing the roster this morning in preparation for coming here, it really struck me that the number of athletes that you have at various positions and so forth. What are you kind of looking for at each position for guys to separate themselves?
You mind rephrasing the question? I'm trying to figure out how to answer you.
I'll have to try to figure out how to ask
Yeah.
it. You got a number of guys at every position. Let's just choose wide receiver. You got a lot of wide receivers. What are you looking for from all the individual players in terms of how they're going to separate themselves and be the lead dogs?
Yeah, David, I think the most important thing in this is you got to figure out what their skill set is. and how far you can take them. And do they do that every day? Are they the same player every day? Are they showing signs of improvement? Are they getting better? So when you're going through this process, there's not like a magic way outside of like you watch the tape every day. And when you watch the tape, like these guys show you, the tape tells you who the best player is. And most of the time, you figure it out pretty quickly. And then you're looking at skill sets. In those first 9 days before that first sprint, there's 8 practices. And then a ninth is the Saturday we're having a big scrimmage on. And so you're making sure you want to teach the offense. You want to teach situational football. You want to make sure that they know what they're doing before the evaluation process really, really starts. And so then the tape, they separate themselves with the tape on how they play and how consistent they are.
Brandon Turner, football analyst. In year one, to you, what's going to define success for this program? Is it a Sun Belt title? Is it getting to a bowl game and winning a bowl game? As you go through your year one goals, what's success look like to you?
Yeah, we're going to judge the team based on how we see it, and how we'll judge this team is do we max out their talent, how we see it. And I don't think that you can quantify that with a bowl game, with a championship title. Like obviously you come to App and the goal is to win championships because that's the expectation. That's why you come to App. But right now in the current where we're at right now, we'll define success based on did we max out our players' talent.
Anyone else?
Sorry. Emma Moon, Charlotte Observer. I guess my question's kind of similar to one that's been asked, but just about the quarterback room. You said eventually one has to separate themselves from the group. What does that look like? Is there something specific that stands out to you? How have you assessed that in the past that's kind of helping you now? Just what does that look like?
No, it's a great question. I mean, I was actually talking to Coach Christensen on the way over, and I was like, hey, this was easy at South Carolina because we had Spencer Rattler and the heir apparent was Lenore Sellers, and we knew the whole room knew who the heir apparent was, and we knew who the starter was. It was very defined and clear. And I think the best thing you can do in these quarterback competitions, and we've been through them our whole lives, and extremely fortunate to have Coach Christensen here, who's done it for a lot longer than I have as well. So it's a great resource for me to lean on and ask questions to and brainstorm with. But it's the guy that gets the team in the end zone. And I go back to my college days, and we had a first-round quarterback named Matt Jones. And our kind of starting quarterback was Tavares Jackson. And Matt was running with the 3s or 4s, and they were all kind of the same age. I was a year older than both of them. And Matt just found a way, wherever it was, to get the team in the end zone. And Tavares played in the NFL for 12 to 14 years, played a long time, and really talented player. But the guy that gets the team in the end zone, regardless, like, it doesn't matter if you're with the 2s or you're with the 3s or you're with the 4s. You look up and you look at their scoring percentage by drive and practice, and the best player normally finds a way to move the team regardless of circumstance, who he's with. So that's really how we've always done in the past.
We'll go to the back of the room to Matt.
Matt President, Appalachian Sports Network. Coach, when you were hired back at the end of the last year, I'm sure you had a vision for what the offseason would look like from a recruiting perspective, from a training perspective. I'm just curious how reality has matched or not matched your expectations and what may have stood out from the stretch throughout the spring into the summer.
Yeah, what you do, you're right. When you get here, you see things a certain way, but then you really feel how powerful this brand is. And recruiting has been, you're always worried to use the word easy, but recruiting's been smooth because our brand is strong and people know about our brand. So when we've been able to, whether it be the transfer portal or high school, our 26 class, I feel really good about both those. And the talent that we've been able to make our roster better through the transfer portal. And I'm really excited about, right now they're just commits, but the people we have committed in our next class of high school kids. So the part of that was, to answer the question, just excited about the future, just what doors this place opens that way.
This next month of training camp, surely with the NFL and with your college experience, you've had a hand in how various training camps have been structured. But now, as the person leading those conversations and leading the planning, what's most important to you about how you structure training camp?
Yeah, really good question. The most important thing is how we divide the practice reps. And like I said, we are a 2-spot operation. And what that means is we're split. Like one group's going that way, and it could be group A and group C and group B and D, however we order that. So we're getting equal reps, and that's really important to give guys opportunity. And even in recruiting, like we don't promise spots, we promise opportunity. And the way we practice allows us to give those guys and promise those competitions. And when you walk out of a practice and you look at you're going through a quarterback competition, and this guy's got 13 throws at practice, this guy's got 9 throws, and this guy has 6. You don't have a real evaluation of what's going on. You're going off a limited number of reps. So we're trying to create as many reps as we can so our evaluation can be more accurate.
Anybody else have anything?
Fumble, not a good day of day one training camp.
David Rogers, High Country Sports again. You've got a number of guys through the transfer portal that are coming from big name schools, from Power 4 schools, I guess you'd say. Beginning with your quarterback, but you've got a number of other positions too. A lot of them are redshirt seniors or 6-year redshirt seniors, whatever. Is the motivation for getting those guys, or for getting those guys to commit, is it for them to see one more year of film for the possibility of getting drafted?
Yes, sir, David. Another good question. I think that it's guys that looking for opportunity, not chasing NIL money, not chasing those things. They're looking for, where can I go to have good tape? Where can I go to have an opportunity to advance my career to the National Football League? Where can I go and have a chance to really start and have a chance to play? Because for whatever reason, their circumstance, they weren't happy with their current circumstance. So, and we have been able to bring a lot of, I think we have 12 players from the SEC, guys that we recruited when we were in the SEC that were all highly recruited kids that were really excited about getting on campus. And there's a lot of guys that are on campus that no one really knows who they are, but they will in time. So I think everyone's situation is different, and we don't look like, hey, it's not like free agency, like, hey, we're going to sign this guy on a 1-year deal and see how it plays out. We're looking for the best possible players to upgrade our roster right now, because it's a what have you done for me lately profession, and they just happen to be 5th-year seniors, 6-year seniors.
LOS Asheville. Piggybacking off of that a little bit, and App State has a proud brand with the A, but off of that question of this being an opportunity for a lot of those transfer players, was the schedule also kind of a recruiting tool a little bit? Because it's not every year you're starting, playing in Bank of America Stadium, you're playing Boise State, you're playing Oregon State before conference. Was the schedule kind of enticing for maximizing the opportunity of this year?
Absolutely. And our guys in the transfer portal and the high school kids that look at it, like, it is a really cool experience to go get to play in an NFL stadium. It is a great opportunity to go to Boise State. You got Oregon State coming into our place to play, and I think it aligns with Doug's vision for how he wants to build the schedule and give us those opportunities to showcase our talent, showcase our brand, and you want those type games. Like if you want to compete at the highest level, so bring in a team that's been to the college football playoff and a Power 4 team, and get to play in an NFL stadium, and not to mention our conference. Our conference from top to bottom is a really good conference. It's a really competitive conference, and something I always didn't know coming from where I came from. But when you get here and you start studying the tape and you start studying these rosters, it's a very well coached league, and it's a very talented league from top to bottom. There's not top end teams and then the rest of the teams. Like every team in it is good. There's a lot of 1-score games, so it's very similar in what we just came from the SEC.
Emma Moon from the Charlotte Observer. I'm just wondering if you can talk about what you've seen from Kanye Roberts, any updates on him, just anything you've seen from him.
Yeah, excited about him. It was a guy that was in the transfer portal when we first got here, and we were able to keep him here, which is really important. But he's a really good player, and he's a slasher. He can put his foot in the ground and go vertical. And we are excited. We feel really good about our running back room in general, and we have some good players and it creates more competition, so it brings out the best version of everybody. But we are really fired up about Kanye and the different things he can do and the different ways we can use him.
And have you, as one of the players that have stayed with App for a couple years now, have you seen him emerge as a leader, or just anything on the field that shows his leadership?
Yeah, I think he's a leader in how he does things and how he goes about his work. And he's had to overcome injury. And every great journey and your scars make you who you are. And so his journey has made him mentally tougher, and excited for him to get it back out there healthy and compete, and just to get to see his talent. And he's done a lot of good things in college. He's done a lot of good things at practice. And he's kind of quiet, but he smiles. So when you know he's engaged, and he's smiling, he's laughing, he's cutting up with the other running backs. And just in the team meeting, I cut my eyes at him because the trainer was making a joke, and I see him smile, laughing, and just really, really fortunate to have him. Really excited to coach him. I think he's a really talented guy that's going to help us win a lot of games.
Anyone else?
Okay. Yeah, I can do it. This might be a little tedious, but I'm just wondering, can you go through the quarterback candidates, anything that stood out to you from those 5 players? I know that's probably long-winded, but just anything that stood out to you.
Yeah, of course we give Emma the last question. This is the one she asked. No, it's from top to bottom. I really like our room. I do, and I think it's a talented room. AJ's played. We recruited him to South Carolina. He committed to us to South Carolina, flipped at the last minute, went to LSU. So he's got game tape, so you know what he is. And we're excited about getting to work with him a little bit more. Billy Wiles is a guy that's been here, and he was at Southern Miss, and he's been at Clemson, and he's got wisdom. And that's what gives him a chance, is he's a very smart guy. He'll be successful in life. He'd be a really good coach if he decides that one day because of his football knowledge. He's played in a bunch of different systems, which helps him. J.J. Cole comes from Iowa State. We recruited him a little bit when I had a brief stint at Penn State, so we got to recruit him a little bit there. And I think everyone likes to talk about J.J.'s height because he's 6'7", and he is all of 6'7". And we have a rule at practice: he can't stand by me when the media is there because that makes me look even shorter. But he's a talented kid too, and he's really unique that way. Like, he can throw, he's smart, he runs better than what people think he does. Matt Wilson is a guy that's a really talented athlete that's been here, and he's trying to figure it out as a freshman. And if we can get his talent maxed out, he's got a real chance to be a really, really good player. I love our freshman Noah from Tupelo, Mississippi. Great kid, great family. When you're around him, puts a smile on your face. I had all the freshmen over to my house to eat last night, right before camp, and they're here. They kind of get indoctrinated to how we do things, but then you go home right before your freshman season starts. You start to miss home. So we had him over at the house last night, and Noah's on the basketball court with the rest of the freshmen, and he's balling. And he's making behind-the-back passes and those things, and he just has it. And you can see it at an early age. I think he has it. And so I'm really excited about all of them. And I think all of them have unique gifts, and we're very fortunate to have each one of them. They do a really good job as a room, too, cheering for each other and having each other's back. And I've been in part of these rooms where it wasn't like that. And it was, I hope you do bad because I want to play. And this group doesn't do that. They're for each other. I think it's a great message for the rest of our team because everyone knows. I mean, you guys know it. There's a quarterback competition going on, and it's the storyline of the camp, and it's going to be the storyline of the season, and who wins the job and all those other things. But they still manage to cheer for each other, which is exciting, and that means you have the right type people because it takes a selfless person to cheer for someone and to hope they do well when you're competing for a job.
I think that's a wrap. Thank you.
Appreciate you guys.